you want to know all about the Lowrance FS Elite, this is the video for you. My name is Wesley Littlefield with YourBassGuy.com, and today I'm giving you my honest opinion about the Lowrance FS Elite. I believe this is the 9 model. Now, in all fairness, I do have to be honest. Lowrance sent me this unit. However, I have to send it back. I don't get to keep it. So therefore, I'm going to be brutally honest and upfront with you guys what I like about it and what I don't like about it. So let's get started. So let's start with what I do like about it. So first of all, it was really an easy install process for the most part. There's something that I will mention later in the video, that a problem that I ran into, but for the most part, installation was pretty straightforward and easy. The next thing that I like the touch screen. You know, everybody's kind of got their own opinions, mixed opinions on whether they like a touch screen or not. I do, but I also like having the buttons that allow me to work the screen a little bit without having to touch it all the time. So whether my hands are wet and it doesn't really want to work, or it's cold and my hand, it's just not getting the heat that it needs to, or it's getting too much heat from the sun blaring down on it. So I like the touch screen, but I also like the buttons. So great job on that, Lowrance. The next thing is the screen is plenty bright. You can tell that I'm out here on a super bright sunny day and I can see the screen just fine. I don't got to worry about trying to move and adjust and glaring at it just to see it. It's plenty bright. If I really wanted to, I could change my color schemes up and dial it in exactly how I would. So the screen brightness is awesome. The next thing that I like about it is that you can connect it to everything on your boat. I could connect it to my phone and with their app. I could connect it to the power. If I have power poles on my boat, I could connect it to another unit. I mean, it's got all the networking capabilities that are needed, although I can't use them because I've got this one unit. It's all I got, so it doesn't help me out any, but I do like that option. If you're a beginner, you really don't need that option. And for me and my little boat, I don't need that option. But if you're more of a tournament angler, that's an excellent feature that you can use. You can connect it to, if you're running a Lowrance trolling motor, the Ghost, then you can also connect it to that. And so I enjoy all the specific features such as side scan, down scan, traditional sonar, and then mapping. It came with all of those built in. I got the 3-in-1 transducer with it, so it came with all of those. And the mapping is great. Here on my local lake, I can see my contour lines. I can zoom in really well and see where some artificial brush piles are at. They've been put online and stuff, so it's pretty cool. Setting waypoints, all that kind of basic stuff as you'd expect. And it tracks you, so you can see where you went, mark where you caught your fish, and follow that path back. So that's another pro. All the cons are great. One thing I forgot to mention is that it is ActiveTarget compatible. So if you're looking to upgrade to ActiveTarget in the near future, I highly recommend getting this unit. I really liked how user-friendly the interface is, the menu. I'm actually not a Lowrance user very often. As a matter of fact, I've got a Garmin unit, 2 Garmin units on my kayaks, and it's really easy to come over to Lowrance and see, hey, this is how you do everything, and it's really user-friendly. And I really appreciated that about it, because sometimes, you switch between brands and it can be like, oh, well, I do this, like, for example, the other day, my dad was asking me how to turn off his Android phone, and I'm an iPhone user. And I was like, I don't know, this is how we do it, and it wasn't working. So with the Lowrance unit, it was pretty simple to switch over, real easy for me to switch over. So let's start with the cons. The first con is gonna be the price. It's not cheap. It's not a cheap unit, but it does offer a lot of features for that price that the cheaper units don't. So I can't complain too much about the price, but for me, that's a deal breaker because I'm not gonna spend a bunch of money on a depth finder. So con number 2, and maybe this is just because I haven't got to play with it and really dialed it in yet, but traditional sonar is still fuzzy, and part of it could just be the conditions of the day and everything, but I can't get the clear image that I would really like to get, even on some of the others. Now this is like the first day that I've really got to play with it in depth on the water. I got to play with it out of the water a little bit, but today's really the first day of me diving into it. So I'm sure if I played with it a little more, I could figure out that clarity and eliminate a lot of those unnecessary readings that it's showing me. But straight out of the box, it doesn't do that for me. So that's a con in my opinion. So as I said, mounting it was not a big deal at all. Even an old bass tracker that I've got it in, it mounted to the floor. I just threw it on the floor near the trolling motor to play with and work with. So that works great. The problem we actually ran into though, and I had to look up, was our wire. So I had a unit at the front here already. So we just cut that wire and tried to wire it directly into that power source. And those wires were actually too small. And so when I turned the unit on, it was just flashing at me and flashing, and it would come on and function, but the screen was just flashing. And I thought at first it was like, oh no, it's broke, you know. But I did a little bit of research and found out, hey, run a little bit bigger wires and you can eliminate that problem. Found some bigger wire, ran it to a battery, and sure enough, it's working great now. So yes, it's a con, but it's more of just, hey, be aware that when you buy this unit, it draws a lot of power and it needs a little bit bigger power cables. This unit draws a lot more power than those, so it needs some bigger cables. So those are the quick pros and cons that I've seen just from my initial look through at it. Like I said, overall, it's a solid unit. For me, I think it's a little bit overkill, and you know, but I don't fish tournaments. I don't do anything like that. So if you fish tournaments, this is definitely a unit to look into. But for the average weekend angler like I am, I'm not gonna go out and spend $1,000 on this unit just to have all the other additional benefits. And that's it, guys. That's all I got for this video. I wanna thank you guys for watching. And if you're interested in any other Lowrance unit, as a matter of fact, say you're a weekend angler like myself, I did a review on the Lowrance FishReveal, and I was really impressed with it. I'm still impressed even after using this. Now, of course, I would rather have the more expensive unit, but for the price, that Lowrance FishReveal unit is killer. If you want to see that review, I've got it down below me. Otherwise, I want you guys to always remember that education is important, but fishing is essential.